Good day, everyone. My name is Sarah L. DEVILLA from Group 18, and now we're going to be discussing the organizational analysis of Hospital X. So, start na po tayo sa introduction. Characteristics of an organization. The organizational system is a structure of how an organization is set up. It defines the structure on how each division of a business is set up. There is a hierarchy of who reports to whom and how the communication flows throughout the organization. The organizational structures also define how each role in the organization function. The well-defined organizational structure took place. All the employees knew what to expect to the organization and to whom they will report. The organization must have unique needs. Organizational structures that is right for the business will not be right for another. An organization chart is a diagram that visual conveys a company's internal structures by detailing the roles, responsibilities, and the relationship between individuals within an entity. An organizational analysis is a diagnostic business process that can help organizations understand their performance, look for problem areas, identify opportunities, and develop a plan of action for improving performance. In short, an organizational analysis is a review of a basic components of an organization. The benefit of performing an organizational analysis is identifying problems or inefficiencies to that strategies can be created to deal with them. An analysis of this nature shows how organizations are structured and how they operate. So glaring holes or issues should be able to spotted more quickly. It also assists within transitions, merges, or expansions so that organizations know what their needs are. On the other hand, an organizational analysis can also show you what's right with the company. Organizational analysis is a process of appraising the growth, personnel operations, and work environment of an entity. Undertaking an organizational analysis is beneficial as it enables management to identify areas of weakness and then find approaches for eliminating the problems. The Group 18 of BSN 14E students from Davao Doctors College scrutinized an organizational analysis of Hospital X which is located at Madapo, Davao City, Davao del Sur, Philippines. This study focuses to analyze and to establish an organization structures of Hospital X that includes how the establishments, the departments, and division of the work and providing information that defines that continuously commit, offer, and facilitate outstanding wellness services and programs by means of its hospital-based and community-based ministry amid the challenges of accessibility and affordability of the healthcare due as to demands of quality standards, technical or technological advancement, and relevance to improve total wellness and well-being of the people. The philosophy of the organization. The philosophy of the organization of the Hospital X is more on health in the hands of caring people. According to their vision, mission, goals, and core value, they always prioritize their patients to a skillful and caring healthcare practitioner. The formal organization is of the Hospital X according to their website. The Hospital X is a non-stock, non-profit religious corporation registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission of the Republic of the Philippines. Line structure. Organizational structure is a system that outlines how certain activities are directed in order to achieve the goals of an organization. These activities can include rules, roles, and responsibilities by Canton 2021. Organizational structure is a system used to define a hierarchy within an organization. It defines each job, its function, and where it reports to within the organization. This structure is developed to establish how an organization operates and assist an organization in obtaining its goals to allow for future growth. Brand 2019. Hospital X has a formal organizational structure which officially codified hierarchical arrangement of relationship between different jobs. Within the organizational units, the relationship between departments within the organization. It includes hierarchical relationship and assigns competence, ties, and responsibilities. Since the Hospital X is a tertiary private tree hospital that has a bigger number of people, which is necessary for the management because it unites different departments, process people, and formalize relationship to achieve the common objectives of the organization. The organization was arranged and separately by box that defined the chain of command that were connected by solid lines. The top level is the CEO, chief nurse, quality manager, and medical director has the authority to decide major decision and thus on strategic growth and development. The middle level is the chief training officer, the assistant chief nurse, the supervisor, the unit managers. The above mentioned coordinates and channels the needs of the patient during their stay in the hospital. The low-level staff, chief resident, and the residents, this gives needs for the patient during their stay in the hospital. In decision-making process, in decision-making process of making choices by identifying a decision, gathering information, and assessing alternatives resolution. Using a step-by-step decision-making can help you make more deliberate, thoughtful decision by organizing relevant information and defining alternatives. This approach increases the chances that you will choose the most satisfying alternative possible. The decision-making process in Hospital X, centralized decision-making is used in our hospital. Since the CEO will be the one who makes the final decision with the help of the chief nurses, medical director, and quality manager. The policies imposed by the manager or the management will be distributed from the top level down to the lower level, which is the staff.
So my name is Febimary Cortes, and I will be reporting group of work segments. According to the nurse that we interviewed that is working in Hospital X stated that previously, before the COVID era, we have the primary type of care in which one nurse is caring for 5 to 6 patients per shift, wherein you do all the bedside, carrying out the orders and other needs of the patient. Now we do not now we do the functional type of care wherein one charge nurse for all the patients is carrying out orders, referrals, making sure the area is in order and other paperworks. One bedside nurse gives medication to the patient, bedside procedures, monitoring the patient, all concerns regarding bedside care. One midwife or nursing attendant does the aftercare of the station, helps the bedside nurse in doing bedside care or etc. Specialties are indicated in the CV. Sometimes during the COVID era, bedside nurses do the taking of ABG, blood samples, adjust the ventilator setup depending on the doctor's order. Different departments comprising organization, a list of departments in hospital. According to Smitri Yonzon, there are several departments are found in the hospitals, namely outpatient department, inpatient service, medical department, nursing department, paramedical department, physical Medicine and Rehabilitation Department, Operation Theater Complex, Pharmacy Department, Radiology Department, Dietary Department, Non-Professional Services, Business Management, Medical Record Department, and Personnel Department. So in department heads, in A, which is first, staff to unit manager, supervisors, assistant chief nurse, and CEO. Vice versa to the B, which is CEO, chief nurse, assistant chief nurse, supervisors, unit manager, and staff. Here is CEO, quality manager, chief nurse, assistant chief nurse, and then down to CEO, there are medical directors, chief training officer, chief resident, and then down to assistant chief nurse is the supervisors, assistant manager, and staff. Vice versa, this staff, unit manager, supervisor, down to quality manager, and then supervisor to chief nurse, CEO, and then staff down to residents, chief training officer, and then medical director.
So, good day. I am Andrea Dayola, and I will be reporting the number of personnel every department. In the department, General Medicine, 1 is Department of the Personnel is 14, General Medicine 2 is 14, the General Medicine 3 is 21, General Medicine 3 is 21, in the OB ward 19, the DR department 21, in the NICO 13, then PICU 13, then ICU 17, in the surgery 22, in the FAME 16, then executive 15, in the OR department 24, supervisor is 5, the chief nurse is 1, assistant chief nurse 1, quality manager 1, infection control is 3. Type of work being performed. So in the board of directors, in general, the board makes decision as fiduciary of behalf of shareholders. In addition to those duties, a board of directors is responsible for helping a corporation set broad goals, supporting executive responsibilities, and ensuring the company has adequate, well managed resources at its disposal. Chen G 2021. In the chair of the board, the chairman is responsible for leading the board and focusing its own strategic matters, overseeing the group's business, setting high governance standards. He plays a pivotal role in the fostering the effectiveness of the board and individual directors, both inside and outside the boardroom. Bupa 2021. In the president and CEO, the president or CEO responsible for the overall leadership and strategic planning has the responsibility to carry out the mission and is responsible for the overall management and operation of all aspects of the organization. Focuses on long-range goals, strategies, plans, and policies routinely exercising discretion and independent judgment in the performance of job duties. The president or CEO is accountable for the overall pragmatic and fiscal integrity of the organization. The Coordinating Center 2021. So in the medical director, the medical director carries out a signed program to assure the delivery of quality medical care to the membership, ensuring compliance with contractual obligation and standards, and assisting in the development and implementation of new policy and programs as needed. Ensure ensures operational effectiveness and oversight of assigned function. Puel O 2021. So in the nursing service director, our healthcare facility is on the hunt for a qualified director of nursing to lead and oversee our nursing department. As director of nursing, your central goal will be able to develop a collaborative and efficient workplace with specific attention to quality patient care. You will perform a range of duties including maintaining in department budgets, setting long-term goals, and overseeing record keeping processes. The ideal candidate for his position has proven experience in a nursing leadership role, outstanding organization skills, and deep knowledge of healthcare industry policies. Director of Nursing Job Description 2021. In the section manager, a section manager works under the direction of an operation manager, planning and establishing procedure and methods by which staff must aside when performing tasks. He also reviews production reports on a regular basis and implements corrective action. A section manager organizes, directs, and supervises activities related to production processes within a firm. She ensures that operating activities, contractor work adheres to corporate policies and production plans. Job description of a section manager 2019. So in the unit manager, a manager are primarily responsible for overseeing day-to-day patient care, supervising directing and developing nursing staff, and reporting to the Director of Nursing to ensure quality patient care with a long-term care center, skilled nursing facility, or assisted living community. Unit managers are required to be dependable and personable between residents and their families. Unit managers are tasked with ensuring their unit complies with federal and state regulatory standards and follow company policies and procedure. Unit Manager Resources and Facts 2018. So in the staff nurse, the duty of nurses is caring for the patient coming into our facility include tasks like creating and maintaining accurate patient's record, administering medication and monitoring for side effect, are recording vital signs, and recording symptoms and changes in the patient condition. He, she, he or she will provide comfort to the patient and maintain safety of the patient and will take over the charge from duty nurse of previous shift regarding patient bed to bed, instrument supplies, drugs, etc. and handed over the same to the next shift. The staff nurse have a lot of things to do like he or she will do all the work in the ward. Staff nurse duties and responsibilities 2019. So in the nursing aid, a nursing aid assists with the care of patients who are sick, injured, or bedridden. In performing your job, you may be required to feed patients who can't eat by themselves, transfer patients to and from their beds, and ensure that the patient receive daily walks for exercise. You might also help in setting up medical equipment such as x-ray machines. You can further help your patient by personally answering their calls for assistance and ensuring that rooms and beds are kept clean. So in the interrelationship of different departments for the other people, coordinating with their as well as having good relationship with the other department, present quiet as a challenge since it may require good communication skills which not all people are gifted with such a kind of skill. Coordinating with people is reaching a common goal is different from performing as individual job well. Promoting good interrelationship among the staff of each department is highly recommended for an organization to be successful and achieve a common goal. Every department of Hospital X works and coordinates with one another. The medical director is the one who functions as the coordinator that ensure to unite the various functions of each department. There are committee in this hospital, and each committee has different tasks and responsible to focus on. While they are working individually, they should make sure that they communicate and connected to the others in order to make sure that they are in the right track. With that, the result and the end of their task should be integrated with the others, thus accomplishing their common goal. This is where the interrelationship happens. Thank you.
Good day. I'm next reporter. I'm Mark Vincent CARIO. Next is the communication. Communication is essential for effective functioning in every part of an organization. Although marketing, production, finance, personnel, and maintenance departments may receive direction from corporate goals and objectives, communication links them together and facilitates organizational success. The importance of effective communication for managers cannot be overemphasized. For one specific reason is everything a manager does involves communicating. Communication is needed to increase efficiency, satisfy customers, improve quality, and create innovative products. Effective communication is so important for organizational success that not only managers but also their employees must be effective communicators. One role of a manager is to help employees improve their communication skills. When all members of a team, a department manager is to help employees improve the communication skills or organization are able to communicate effectively with each other and with people outside their group. They are much more likely to perform well. Successful manager therefore needs effective communication skills. Hospital X applies the vertical communication, which includes an upward and a downward type of communication. From the highest level of authority, it directly to the lowest or vice versa. Downward type of communication is sometimes practiced since this is the type is commonly used in an authoritarian type of organization, though the final say of policies and other memorandum will be from CEO. Upward type is not the accurate. It may be applicable on other management, but it may cause a conflict between the staff and the higher ups. However, there are times when the staff tries to solve minor problems themselves when the problem is minor and cannot be solved by the staff nurse, the committee in charge will try to solve it when the problem becomes more serious. The head nurse will be involved in the solution. If the problem becomes worse, the supervisor will be involved in, and if the problem is not solved, the HR and the medical director will handle the situation. Next is the effective communication between the organization and the patients. First is incorporate effective communication in your organization mandatory training program. Next is make communication part of your organization culture. Next is implement patient satisfaction surveys. Next, schedule regular meetings for employees. Last is utilize technology when appropriate. Next is the communication flow. Diagram 1. First is the downward communication. The medical director is Dr. Michael and Jamiana, FPCS, FPSGS. The medical director its responsibilities include reviewing healthcare laws and regulating to implement in daily practice, monitoring facility or department budgets, and developing strategies to improve communication between the medical professionals and patients, down to human resources, down to supervisor, down to office in charge to staff. Next is the upward communication. First is the staff to office in charge to supervisor to human resources to medical director whose responsibilities include reviewing healthcare laws and regulation to implement in daily practice, monitoring facility or department budgets, and developing strategies to improve communication between medical professionals and patients. Next is the vertical communication. To medical director, whose responsibilities include reviewing healthcare laws and regulations to implement daily practice, monitor facility or department budgets, and developing strategies to improve communication between the medical professionals and patients, down to human resources, to supervisor, to office in charge, to staff. Next is to upward office in charge, to supervisor, to human resources, to medical director. Next is the horizontal communication. The director is Dr. Michael and Jamiana, FPCS, FPSGS. First is to supervisor to human resources to supervisor, staff to office in charge to, and then office in charge to staff. Next is the grapevine communication. First is the medical director to office in charge to human resources to staff and supervisor. Next is the formal organization that the hospital X that we interview is they're using the formal organization. A formal organization is an organizational structure where the rules are established in place for undertaking operations and processes. These rules are specific so that there is no scope for misunderstanding and are written down to avoid any confusion later on. Next is the formal organization is well designed to achieve specific goals, and it relies heavily on the hierarchy of authority and division of labor to ensure that the work is completed effectively. Every position in a formal structure has a defined set of duties, roles, and responsibilities along with the authority to which the persons in that position will have to report to. Next is the goals and objectives. First is uh, formal organization. Goals is laid to down by the top management to achieve organization, organizational goals. First is formal organization prescribe the relationship amongst the people working in the organization. Next is the organization structure is consciously designed to enable the people of the organization to work together for accomplishing the common objectives of the enterprise. Next is organization structure concentrates on the jobs to be performed and not the individuals who are to perform jobs. Next is the informal organization. Individuals are filled in the jobs and position in work as per the managerial decisions. Those the formal decisions in the organization arise from the pattern of responsibilities that are created by the management. Next is the in a formal organization, the position, authority, responsibilities, and accountability of each level are clearly defined. Organization structure is based on division of labor and specialization to achieve efficiency in operations. A formal organization is deliberately impersonal. Organization does not take into consideration the sentiments of organizational members. Next is the authority and responsibility relationship created by the organization structure are to be honored by everyone. Next is the characteristics of formal organization. First is the organization structure stands on division of labor which bring efficiency in organization operations. Next is policies and objectives of organization are determined. Next is individual activities are limited. Organization communicate message through straight chain of command. Last is arbitrary structure of organization. And that's all.